Now, spawning up in the top left-hand position as the pink Zerg player, it is none other than my Insanity's Kane. And his opponent up in the top left, it is the teal Protoss, representing Alien Invasion. It's Krr. So, a little bit of PvZ to start the day. Of course, Kane is, I believe, the newest recruit to my Insanity. And I say the recruit, he is an amazing player. From America, of course. Bossing it up there, GM. I've cast actually quite a few of his games, unless I'm horribly mistaken, on my YouTube channel. And he's always been really impressive. He's got some cool play going on, so I'm excited to see what he's going to be doing here. Now, in these spawn positions, obviously there's a few things to know. Cross spawn, Frost is really big. Horizontal spawn, less large. The third base for the Zerg player will be down here. He will not want to expand towards his opponent. Airplay can be quite good. Drops into this sort of area can be effective. We may see Krr try and utilize some of that. Other things that can be cool is blink play, because there's a lot of cliff area to be utilized should you want to around most of the bases actually. These rocks can come into play massively due to how effective force fields can be, so we'll likely see those get taken down relatively quickly. Third bases in terms of defending, well, this is where things get interesting, and it's all because of these spawn positions. Securing and holding this third base is not too hard. The reason being is because if you want to come around the back way to come and deal some damage, look at how far out of position you've got to go to get round there and arch around. So not necessarily viable, unless of course we see a pylon placed down by Krr in the later stage of the game, which is very possible. Now, in terms of openings, we've got just this hatchery coming down first, so it's hatch first, may very well be hatch pull. The second drone sitting patiently waiting for the moment. That's just keeping an eye out in case there's anything coming in, any pylons coming down, any attempt at a cannon rush. But now, just becoming that third hatchery, hatch pull, a very common opening. Another variant of it is to get the extractor down first, and if we see the extractor first, it's a much earlier speed, and that's exactly what Kane is going to be doing here, playing it pretty much as greedy as you can actually. That means that obviously Krr has to try and counteract that. Putting on pressure may not be the best option for him, because the reason the hatch pull works so effectively against the gateway expand is simply because a Protoss player, even if they get out a couple of zealots and start producing them now, by the time the spawning pool is finished, with this third hatchery there's enough lava just to keep on pumping lings and hold off pretty much anything. And if you're able to knock all of that out, you're going to be in a good spot. So Kane, he's pretty much safe now, at least for a good little time. And I'm deeply sorry, Kane is not American, he is Canadian, but Sings Penguin just typed that to me just to point me out that I want to clarify to Penguin that Canada is actually in the Americas, which is what I said. It's in the continent of North America, Penguin. I'm an Englishman, I know this sort of thing because for some reason I do. Anyway, Forge coming down, beside the point. Now, anything else that is going on, well, really just save times for the time being. This probe coming out on a little jolly John, of course. For the moment, Krr has no idea that Kane is up in the top left, so he isn't going to be keeping a good little look around, isn't going to be going to know precisely where his opponent is yet, but actually, Kane, he's already seen. He knows about this pylon, he knows his opponent is in the top right, and he's got some Zerglings making their way out. Now, the Stargate is on its way, and with the Stargate coming down, we should see a little bit of pressure. Probably Phoenix are the most likely thing we'll be seeing, although with obviously the latest patch, Oracles are a bit stronger, but Kane coming straight on in there with that Overlord. Gonna get a little peek to say, okay, I know what you're doing, you're getting a Stargate. Krr has no idea it's been scouted yet, which is obviously beneficial for Kane too. And yeah, boom. In comes a couple of lings, just gonna try and sneak you on past. The wall off is not complete. Photon overcharge being triggered here, and we'll be able to do a good job of taking out the lings, but of course scanning information confirmed there. The Oracle seen to be coming out, so a little bit of harassment going to be trying to come down, but with this scene, of course you can see what's coming out of a Stargate as it's building. Kane will be able to put up an adequate defense. He can start spore crawlers, just make things really very, very careful and really as best as possible. But anyway, boom. This Overlord just going to come in, get a little peek, sees, okay, nothing searching from the Forge, that's pretty much good news. Both players equal on 33 workers, but of course Kane with this third hatchery can really pump it up. These lings going to just make very short work of that poor probe who dared to go a little bit close to a hatchery there, and of course the lings still moving over. The Oracle will see them though on their way. Going to continue forth on its adventure, though. No wall off here, it's worth noting. That's still not down, and Speedlings are making their way forward. The Warping just in the nick of time. The Oracle going to try and do a little bit of damage, but unfortunately takes a big beating and is taken down without dealing any damage at all. That is less than ideal. Zerglings are making short work of some Zealots too, but the ones that went on the offensive being forced to retreat back, and therefore, if he retreats back, no more pressure is going to be coming out. For the moment, Krr looking quite safe, but Kane, I'd say, is probably coming off better here. He's doing a good job of taking out pylons that have been placed to go for that Zealot harass. He's got a huge number of links, 34 on the field, and while there is a little bit more pressure coming through in the form of a Void Ray on its way out, not really too much scary stuff going on at the moment for Kane to try and deal with. Kane can drone heavily now. He's got his lair coming down too. Admittedly, he's only currently sitting on the 2 gases. We'll probably see some additional ones taken shortly, but he is going to be able to deny this third. That is definitely getting cancelled. No two ways about that. And bang, straight away, we do see that just these Speedlings paying for themselves, just stopping that third getting taken, and it's just very infuriating. Oh no, there's a gap in the wall. A handful of Speedlings do manage to make it up into the main, and these are the ones I'm going to follow to see how many probes that they can start taking down. And this is pretty catastrophic damage. Even though it's not many workers getting taken, it's a lot of lost mining time. It's annoying. It's taking up a lot of APM for Krr just trying to deal with this. He's having to warp in some units defensively. Might only be 5 workers killed, but losing 5 probes and all that mining time is really annoying, especially when it's avoidable. More Speedlings gonna just try and poke in, see if they can make another quick dash for it, but not gonna be able to get away with it this time. So Krr, he lost 5 workers, but that puts him at 40 to 62 of Kane. Kane has been droning behind this. He's got his Roach Warren and Hydralisk's Den coming through, so he's going up to a very standard mid-game composition of Roach Hydra. The next question, though, is what is he going to be doing later on? Well, for the moment, he doesn't have to worry about Corruptors or Vipers or anything like that, because there are no Colossi. There isn't even a robotics facility yet, so no risk of splash damage, so just pure Roach Hydra would be very strong. And all of this is because of the Stargate opening. A couple more gateways are being added into the mix, but critically, Kane is aware that there's no third base. He's checking both locations. He's got this Overlord here permanently ready to see any attempt that could go down, but this is all looking pretty promising for Kane at the moment in this first game. Is going to catch a couple of sentries out of position. If he takes these down, that is a massive win for him. Even just a couple of sentries there, that's a significant amount of gas. And now, while the Speedlings are getting pushed back, anytime you trade minerals for gas, it's generally going to be a good trade for you, unless the circumstances are pretty extreme. But now, with the Hydralisks on the way out, I doubt we're going to see too many roaches as of yet, because the gateway force isn't that significant. Ling Hydra is going to give out the maximum amount of DPS, and without any Colossi, without any Storms, or even an Archon or something like that, Zergling Hydra can just melt through a gateway force incredibly fast. This Overseer is going to pop just in time to go for a little bit of a retreat. A Changeling was dropped. I'm not sure if it was noticed. It's not really forced to move yet, but it's just giving vision of when that pylon's coming down. But of course, Kane just pumping a lot of units out. He's repositioning his spine crawlers ready to defend this, and with a small force like this, it's going to be very difficult to try and take it out. So the Void Rays, they're going to help, but obviously with the Hydralisks there, they're going to do a great job of trying to force all of this down. So it's just up now to Kane just to try and really minimize any damage taken, and Krr potentially risk moving in, but with a good spread of units, it's going to be hard to do so. The force fields, though, are effective. A good little time warp, too. He's trying to zone out a lot of this army as best he can. The Void Ray's staying up, and the Hydras will melt in small groups like this. He needs to engage with a lot. The Spore Crawler will help with this. The Mothership Core is going to fall. The Void Ray's starting to go down, too, and that's certainly going to be helping a significant amount. So definitely looking solid there. Void Rays are still falling. More Stalkers reinforcing. Kane is starting to lose the ground battle, though, and that's a problem for him. He's got more reinforcements coming in. Is going to need to retreat back for the time being. The Spore Crawler desperately trying to deal a bit more damage, with the Pylon still up. Kane frantically trying to get out a couple more Roaches and a couple more Hydras, but GG is called by Krr, and Kane is going to take the first game.